What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? I know you got that blue screen there. A little technical difficulty there with the camera, but hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits here on a Wednesday. Let's bring it up here. The banner. Excuse me. The 11th, 3 days away from Valentine's Day. Maybe we could talk about that later on, depending, because there is quite a bit to unpack here on this latest edition of the live stream. I do want to shout out everybody who joined me Monday for the podcast pregame, 9:45, but more importantly, the live podcast at 11 a.m. Monday Eastern time. That was a rousing success. I had over 900 views on that. And I only bring that up because tomorrow, and even if I got 9 views, didn't matter. But tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m. Eastern, the podcast will be live again. I'll also do a podcast pregame, just to kind of set the table, what's going on, etc. But the experiment that I'm doing here with the podcast, and I definitely want to get your comments for those who were on. Do you like the idea? Do you like that thought? Me just talking about whatever's on the docket with sports over that first hour and 5 minutes, whatever. And then the last 55 minutes to an hour, we go through all the comments, questions, etc., unpack that, and away we go. So definitely would love to get your feedback on that. So we got that cooking, but today's today, Wednesday, the 11th. Obviously, share your thoughts in the chat room, which I'm going to get to a few. Actually, there's someone that we haven't seen in quite some time that has entered the building, so it'll be good to put his comments on display. And for those who are watching the replay, leave a comment as well, as you all know. And if this is your first time here, hopping on board, don't be shy. Leave a comment. We'll go back and forth to what it is I'm going to say. This is the weekly Wednesday live stream, which I'll go through the comments, and of course, I'll hit on various topics, where tomorrow, the podcast, I'll run through my agenda, then go through the comments afterwards. So just keep that in mind as we're moving along. So let's get to it. What do we got here? Guess who's back? Back again. No, not Eminem. Miles. What is going on? Where have you been? One of my youngest, if not the youngest, of the crew that we have here, our little community that continues to build on a day in, day out, week in, week out basis. Yes, it has been an eternity. Yes, we meet again. To my guy Bio, one of my OGs, of course. Greetings to you, my man. And Minnesota Fats, a.k.a. Tatsuya M.I., a.k.a. Cowboy Bull, a.k.a. Dad's Chips, a.k.a. Everyday Mets, a.k.a. Jonathan Sean Cup. I know I'm missing one or two, but that's quite a few. That's the one. Minnesota, just to know that you have all those aliases, I tell you, makes it original. And that's why I love when you hop on board. And, of course, has a Met take. I know we have to unpack this right now. Francisco Lindor, for those who don't know, as you can see there, broke a bone in his left hand. Actually, I think it was the hamate bone, which is similar to what Francisco Alvarez, the catcher, got. And now this is going to be, all of a sudden, it's going to be the Achilles that we've seen in the NBA, now the hamate bone in baseball, because Jackson Holliday, the Oriole second baseman, former number 1 overall pick a few years back, he has to have surgery on the same issue, and he's going to miss opening day, where David Stearns, the GM, had come out to say that, well, if he gets surgery opening day, we should expect to see Francisco Lindor in the lineup. Well, think about it. Opening day is 6 weeks from tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow. So what are we waiting for here? We're going to have Lindor opening day, or we're going to have him May 1st. So let's see what happens there. You say the Mets are screwed. They trade away their shortstop depth. And they also discussed that they're not going to put Bo Bichette at short, which is the right thing to do. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, he's a shortstop. You should put him there. What if Lindor's out? Whatever, 2 months. Now, if Lindor's out the year, you put Bichette at short without question. But he's not going to be out for the year. So he's going to have to play third. Don't upset the apple cart to where, all right, well, Lindor's going to be out. Let's say if he's out the first 2 weeks of the season, let's put Bichette at short. And then, oh, by the way, when he comes back, we're going to move him to third. No, he's a third baseman. That's it. Case closed. And what do you do as far as shortstop? I know you could throw Ronnie Mauricio. I get it. You traded away Luis Angel Acuna. They're probably going to win 81 games this year. I know it's too early to even get into how many games just yet. I think they would win more. They won 83 last year, and they had no pitching. Now with Peralta, you hope Sean Manaea makes a comeback from his 2024 version as opposed to last year. Remember, he missed the first 3.5 months of the year. You have, obviously, Kodai Senga, Clay Holmes, David Peterson. So you just keep your fingers crossed there, Minnesota. But I'm with you. You don't like the news here where pitchers and catchers officially report today. And to think that Lindor is already going to be on the shelf. But I'm keeping the peace. I'm just trying to – it's February. If I'm going to start unraveling about the Mets season before it even started, then I need to get my head examined. So I'll leave it right there. Yes, Miles. No hair. I know. Oh, my hair. Oh, what's left of it? Yeah, I actually shaved it yesterday and shaved my face. It was getting a little bit out of control. H2O, water. Cheers, everybody. But, yeah, I usually cut it every 2 weeks. It's gone on more than 4 weeks. And, yeah, I don't like the way it looks when it gets to that point. It almost looks like a human chia pet. Dating myself, of course. And then, yeah, I don't like to shave. But I understand this is for the camera, not because of vain, trying to look good, whatever. But I get it. That if I'm going to be scruffy and looking like I'm haggard, and obviously this is my full-time job, so I got to look a little more presentable, right? Just like my guy Keith McPherson said on his live yesterday, I was watching it. And, of course, Keith was a guest here a couple weeks ago on the live stream. He says that if I'm out of work, you can't be out of shape. And that hit home. And, yes, I'm out of work because I chose to be out of work because, obviously, as you well know, for my diehards, my OGs, my day ones, et cetera, they know that this is what I've been doing over the last 2+ years. But for those who are a first-timer, for those that hopping on board and wondering, hey, who's this REELZ guy? What is he talking about? Whatever. Yeah, I can't be doing this full-time and looking like I haven't met a razor or know what a razor is in the vocabulary. So I got to make sure that the upkeep is there. I just can't expect to, well, I'll get to it when I get to it. Got to look a little presentable. And no, not that I'm trying to be some sort of hot shot, but I'm sure you'd understand that if I'm going to be, whether it's a 1.5 minute, 2 minutes short, or a live stream, the podcast, vlogs, which I was looking a little scruffy in a few vlogs that I put out recently. Yeah, no, I can't have that. And even I'll give a shout out to her, my stepmother, who came out and said, this is going back to last year. And of course, I got to can we relax here, kids? The presentability of what it is that I'm doing. She even said, you can't look like that. Because if people are going to look at you for the first time and they're going to see you all gray or they're going to see you looking all fuzzy, not happening. So obviously I got to, there she goes. She's always, that's Kismet, the puppy there. She's just throwing her 2 cents. You know what? Maybe I should get the blue buzzer. I have this blue buzzer, which, you know what? Hang on 1 second, people. She's already quiet. I had this thing. I don't know if you've seen this. I know it's a little out of focus. There's some sort of mechanism in this thing where you can't hear it as a human, but the dog can. So it almost triggers them to stop barking. So and I had it over there. So my apologies for stepping away. But yeah, I can't have this. Look, she's right here, like looking at me like, yeah, you can't bark. Can't bark. I'm in the middle of live stream. So anyway, with that being said, let's move along here, people. Let's see. Miles, what are you doing in Arizona? Are you on the low as far as covering any of the cactus leagues there? Dodgerland? Valent single for me. Oh, no Valentine's for you. Well, hey, you got plenty of times to be Val, I mean, obviously you're young. Val B, what is happening? So did I, pal. Oh, you shaved your head too? Sorry I joined late. No, Val, it's all good. It is all good. Oh, here we go. Minnesota Fats. Valentine's Day's been hijacked by corporations that want you to spend your money. Loving your spouse should be an everyday thing. I mean, if that wasn't a bullseye, I don't know what was. Minnesota. Kudos. And listen, sadly, in this country, they bastardize everything. I mean, that's all there is to it. Whether it's Halloween, whether it's Valentine's Day, I'm surprised they don't bastardize Flag Day or Arbor Day. I mean, you know how to, right? Thanksgiving, another one. I mean, every day we should be giving thanks. As long as we're alive, breathing, no matter what we're fighting through or going through, yeah, hey, that's what we got to take a deep breath and prioritize what's important. And yes, so Minnesota, I'm with you 100%. Val saying what's up to Miles and so on and so forth. Yes, I love it. USA 10 medals, winter Olympics, gold, silver. I forgot which athletes, but I'm letting you know. J Sports News. Yes, Val. Val's also, he's becoming almost my go-to on the fly sports. I guess you could say he's my sports news provider, for lack of a better word. But I love it. Yes, Val. Toppers. Football's over. Looking at us. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Excuse me. I don't know what's happening in my throat here. Trust me, it's not cigarettes. Do not smoke. Have never smoked. Not one cigarette, not even weed. No. High on life, baby. That's what it's all about. Well, Toppers, how are you feeling a few days after New England and what took place in Santa Clara? And you know what? I'm glad football's over too. And I'm going to get to the topics in a moment as I'll uncover that. I always love to get to these comments, as you well know. And yes, I know Minnesota, they traded away Jet Williams. Do I need to talk about this trade again? Freddie Peralta, who obviously is a free agent, Jet Williams, as well as Brandon Sproat. And I understand they have a surplus of arms there. Jonah Tong, we know Nolan McLean. I know, Jet Williams. But I will see. I mean, I had to give up something to get him, but now I got to sign him, as you know. Does it take you this long to talk about a comment? What do you mean take me this long? About your comment? Comments in general? What's happening? Robert, what is going on? Good to see you on board. I appreciate it. Best sporting event until college and NFL football returns. March Madness. Next best Stanley Cup playoffs. Current MLB is the worst I've ever seen. The haves and haves not. Yeah, that's the system. It's like you have Dodgers. And not to say as far as the power rankings, but the teams that spend money. Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, Red Sox, Yankees. And I'll say Astros. I may be missing a team there. Cubs. And then there's everybody else. Sadly. You have your Brewers there. Then you have the Guardians. Who else? Oh, Seattle's up there. They spend money. But they're below Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, Yankees, etc. And then there's everybody else. Marlins, Rockies, Pirates, Royals. I know he spent a fortune on Bobby Witt Jr., but still. But yeah, I'm with you. But I will say, Robert, I don't know if you want, I've always thought this and felt this in my heart of hearts. There's people that argue that October is the best sports month of the year. And yeah, absolutely, I can understand why. But to me, the best sports month of the year is April. The end of March Madness, baseball season beginning, the Masters, NBA, Stanley Cup playoffs, the NFL draft. Does it get any better than that in 1 month? And I know I've talked about this before. I get it. October has football, college football, full swing, baseball playoffs, NBA, NHL seasons beginning. No argument. But to me, April is, I don't know how else to put it. To me, I think it's number one. Val, what do you got? National Hockey League statement regarding tragic community and tumble. Yeah, that is all. I mean, I couldn't believe that. I read that this morning. And I'm just thinking about this to say this the right way. First of all, it's just absolutely deplorable what's going on. But when you see it in countries outside of the U.S., this is how terrible it is. And not to get all down that road, but is shocking to see it outside the U.S. because unfortunately we become so like, yeah, like if we hear about a mass shooting, oh yeah, it's a mass shooting, a mass shooting. But when we hear it outside of the U.S., like what? Really? Huh? But sadly, other countries do something about it. This country didn't do anything about it. So I'll just leave it at that, which is the truth. So yes, that came out earlier. I did see that. I'm going to unpack that too. Val, I thought Isaiah Stewart should have gotten at least 10 games. I say that because in the National Hockey League, if you jump over the bench and first person off the bench, it's automatic 10 games. They may have changed that, but I know when they first implemented that rule, it was 10 games. Isaiah came off the bench, 10 games. Everybody else, I guess they got what they deserved. Oh, Robert, please. Oh, 1,000%. It's brutal. It's brutal. And I got into this the other day with some people, I believe in the chat, not in this chat room, when I posted something about the NBA and then the comments that started coming after that. And what happens is that the NBA, despite the analytics and despite how everything has to be a 3-point, if it's not a 3-pointer, it's nothing. But it's unfortunate because you look at a guy like Victor Wembanyama, and yesterday, what did he have? 25 points in the first quarter and a bunch of threes. But that guy should be back to the basket. He should be, I don't want to say dunking on everybody. And mind you, listen, to think that he shoots threes at 7'4" is just astronomical. But come on. That guy should be playing the low block all the time and would even be that much more of an effective offensive player than he were to be on the perimeter. Because post up, footwork, if you add a little Kevin McHale or a little Hakeem Olajuwon to his game down low, who's going to stop him? First of all, he's taller than everybody on the court, number one. Number two, all right, he can shoot the jumper and also let him have a mid-range game on top of that. But, I mean, geez. But no, everything has to be from beyond the arc. There's no flow. There's people that will drive to the basket, and if there's a defender within 10 feet, they're going to kick it out for a three as opposed to go for a dunk or a layup, which is, it's brutal. Sock collar time. Minnesota Fast, you just changed your whatchamacallit, your avatar? What is sock collar time? Am I supposed to get that? Am I? Angel Reese rejoining Unrivaled. Yeah, Angel Reese. I haven't really watched Unrivaled. Yeah, I haven't watched it. Not because I don't want to. I just haven't. And Angel Reese, obviously, formerly LSU. I'm smoking when I get the chance. Now, Miles, why would you want to do that? Why? What? Are you smoking weed or cigarettes or both? You're going to kill your lungs. I mean, I'm sure your grandmother Jacqueline, shout out to her. I hope she's doing well. She wouldn't like that, would she? Good. I'm proud of the Pats. Very good. No, they did. Listen, certainly a surprise. Obviously, you didn't like the final result, but as it was, certainly a year that obviously you didn't expect. Yeah, if I would have told you week one, you guys are going to be 14-3. You're going to be a 2 seed, though, but you're going to get to a Super Bowl and lose. Well, I'm sure after and lose, you'd be like, yeah, I signed up for it. But yeah, that's how it is. That's how it goes, Toppers. Yeah, Miles, the Young, Black, and Rich. Who does that song? Millie Meeky Mills, not Meek Mill. Giants, yes, they are doing that. Brian Callahan, I did see that. Way to go, Val. Much appreciated. Why is the NBA? Oh, we're going to talk about that too. We will unpack all these things that you're bringing up. Everybody saying what's up. All these things that everybody bringing up, I will unpack. I promise you. Oh, dog shot collar time. Yes. I saw a sock collar. I was like, wait a minute. Is that something yes, the dog shot collar. She actually just went to her bed over there because my front door's here and she hears people outside, the Amazon guys, and it just triggers her to start barking. English or Spanish? I may have to go back and see that. Speak whatever you want, Miles. I don't smoke, but nicotine gum makes you think faster. Yeah, it does. Now, did you once smoke Minnesota? I'm curious. Raining all day in Southern California? No way. What's the temperature? As a matter of fact, just so you know, you're going to laugh. I know you're not going to be able to see this bio. Light rain is expected to start in 8 minutes. Yeah, look at that. Well, at least that's what it says here. I had this on my phone. I know you can't see that. Oh, it's coming in clear a little bit. Moreno Valley. I know it's inverted, but that's a shout out to my guy, Victor Carrillo, Machete Madness, represent. That's my guy that we've talked about that lives out in Moreno Valley. Yeah, today in New York is 40 degrees, feels like 27, but it's cloudy. But let me tell you something, 40 degrees, it might as well be 80 degrees because, as you know, it's been cold up here. If you move. What is that? Come on, Miles. What are we talking about here? Miles, come on. Analytics with a three-point shot in basketball and ESPN Analytics saying you should go for a fourth down. I know. I can't. Yeah, we've talked about that all the time here, Robert, as far as the Dan Campbells, the Ben Johnsons of the world. Either that or not going for two. I know I didn't talk about that a couple of days ago where Vrabel, after scoring a touchdown on 19-6, I mean, why didn't he go for two to make it 19-8? 19-7? Now you need two touchdowns. Still two scores, but you'd rather have two scores where it's a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then a field goal as opposed to having to get two touchdowns. But I don't know what to say about that. Let's see. I never smoked. Was a secondhand smoker for years. Yes, unfortunately, same here. Thankfully, nobody here in the household, but in the past, I've lived with smokers, and it was really bad. All right, let's get to these topics. We got Valby. We got rain up there too. I guess it's all of California that's getting the rain. All right, here we go. Starters. I know Toppers is thankful that the NFL season is over and to move on to other sports. But I know there's a lot of people, and they're not going to feel it just yet. They'll probably feel it more this coming Sunday. We haven't had a Thursday night game since the regular season. Obviously, we just had a Super Bowl, 72 hours ago? And I understand a lot of the football fans, their flags are at half-mast, knowing that you have to wait till next March until, quote-unquote, the new season begins, free agency, trades, things of that nature. The following month, you have the draft at the end of April. Or you have the combine, which is coming up if you're into that. I am not into the combine. I could care less about that. I don't care if whomever, quarterback, running back, defensive lineman, offensive tackle, I don't care if they run a 2.5 in the 40. I need to see it in real games. Draft, schedule release in May, OTAs in June, training camp in July, exhibition games in August, and then the season, which will be in Seattle. I guess it'll be the second Thursday now because with Labor Day is the 7th this year, where the season will begin after that. So that'd be the 10th will be. September 10th will be the opening day of the NFL season. So we have all that time between now and then. And everybody I know is like, oh my God, counting down the days and football, blah, blah, blah. Thank God. Do we understand that football, the NFL, powers that be, the schedule, fantasy football, gambling, prop bets, you name it, sucks the life out of the sports fan? Well, it sucks the life out of me. And I don't gamble. I don't play fantasy football. I don't do the boxes. I don't do none of that. So I can care less. But thank God. And I understand football is the fastest out of all the seasons. What is it? And technically it's about 22, 23 weeks, where the NBA season from start to finish is October to late June. Same for the NHL. Baseball is late March to late October, where football obviously doesn't have the length. But I'm sorry. Thank God the NFL's over. And I love the NFL. And you guys know that. I follow it. I'm on top of it. But to think that the NFL fan that can't get enough of it, that just whatever. Oh, no. Thank God. And that's going to lead to my next thing in a moment, my next question. So does anybody have, I'm sure they're going to post in the comments, does anybody have post-Super Bowl or post-NFL blues? And if you do, that's fine. I'm not going to berate you for it. I'm not going to look at you like, oh, well, tough, you got to deal with it. Or, suck it up, start watching the NBA. No, I get it. I'm with you 1,000%. And I'm also the same guy that once we get to May, especially after the schedule release, and you get to Memorial Day, and then especially OTAs, when it's like, ooh, we're 6 weeks away from NFL training camp, and everybody's geeked up over the NFL. And what's worse is when the Hall of Fame game, that first Thursday in August, when that comes out, and you read all the posts on social media, yeah, is anybody ready for football? I'm not watching that. And I get everybody's amped up, whatever, but no, sorry. I can wait for football. I can wait. So, trust me, I understand it's 7 months away from the start of the season. And wait a minute, today's the 11th, right? So look at that. 7 months from yesterday is when the season will begin. But yeah, I'm fine with it. It's all good. No rush. Take your time. And that's fine. But with that being said, it does lead to this next question. We've entered the Sports Dead Zone Part 1. As I talked about last year, maybe around this time. No, in fact, I have not. I'd have to go back in the archives because I know when I started doing live streams, this format of a live stream, it may have been after I did the anniversary or maybe before that. I may have been right before. But our guy Brent Tolman, north of the border in Ontario, shout out to him. He left a comment on me saying that, oh, here we are in the Sports Dead Zone. And I'm paraphrasing. He says, not a chance. I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. I haven't followed up on that. But I have to say, without a doubt, this is the Sports Dead Zone. I mean, how could it be? How could it not be? You have no NHL right now, not until 2 weeks from today when the season resumes. NBA is going to go into the All-Star break after tomorrow night's scheduled games. So you're not going to see him for a week. And I know people aren't pumped up for the skills competition, the three-point shot, the slam dunk, and the All-Star game itself. Then you have, 3 days off until then? I mean, what are you watching? College basketball? And now college basketball is starting to get good here. Arizona lost the other day to Kansas. No Darren Peterson, which I believe he was ill. You know, it's not as if he had a knee issue or a hamstring or whatever. And he hasn't played in a lot of the games either. What has he played in? 11 of the 20 some odd games? So he's pulling a Kyrie because Kyrie was like that in his 1 year at Duke. I think he played what? Didn't Kyrie play like 11 or 12 games and he was still the number one pick in the draft? But and then North Carolina lost yesterday after beating Duke over the weekend. They lost in Miami. You got nothing. College basketball in the Winter Olympics is going to take you pretty much through the month of February. And as we know, the NBA, unless you're dying the wool, and listen, I am. I love the NBA. But am I going to be on a night in, night out basis? And when I do the podcast, if it's Monday, I look to the schedule for the next few days leading up to Thursday's podcast. And then on Thursday, I'll look at the weekend to see what we got. And I know now you're going to get a lot of ABC games over the weekend. Prime Video is going to be in full effect and has been. I get that. But unless you're going to get that game where it's like, OKC is at San Antonio. Again, I know they played a million times already. Excuse me. Or last night you saw San Antonio and the Lakers, but the Lakers sat out everybody. I'm sure to the chagrin of Bio, where LeBron was nursing. I think he had the injury was a left foot. I forgot. Not soreness. But let's face it. It was a play on load management. Luke has the hamstring, as you know. Austin Reeves was also out. So, yeah, I mean, how can you watch these games when it's like that? And I'm going to get into the NBA a little bit after this. There's a couple things I want to talk about, including this tanking issue, which the NBA, I mean, and this is the other thing about the NBA that you don't want to watch. And I guess it's with those bad teams. But unless you're going to get a marquee matchup or there's a team, let's say like Charlotte, that you may want to watch, be like, hey, I want to get a taste for these guys. I want to see what they're all about. And to play them against a good team. You're not watching Charlotte, Sacramento. But I got news for you. The NBA does not capture the imagination of, unless you're just a hoops fan, a hoops nut job. And again, I love it. But yeah, am I going to watch Clippers Sacramento? I'm not watching that. Yeah, maybe I'll peep in on Charlotte, or yeah, if there's a marquee matchup, I'll definitely check it out. But I'm not going to go crazy. That's like the NFL, and I get it because of gambling. You're going to be in tune with all the games that are on. But yeah, I'm not watching Titans in Arizona to play the Cardinals. I'm not watching it. Why would I watch that? And I get it. If you have fantasy, Cam Ward is my quarterback. Well, fine. But no, I got other things to do. Yeah, am I going to have my finger on the pulse? And as you know, that was a game earlier this year where Arizona had no business losing. The running back drops the ball before he gets into the end zone and they end up losing by a field goal, if I'm not mistaken. But my point is that I'm not going to be dialed into that. I'm just not. And just like I'm sure you guys and gals wouldn't be dialed into the Wizards playing the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, really? And that's my point. And that's part of this dead zone, just like with the NHL. Are you going to be home and, what's on tonight? Oh, I got to watch this game. I'm going to watch the Rangers, who are in the cellar dwellers in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I'm going to watch them play the Vancouver Canucks. No. You're going to read a book. You're going to see if there's, who's Edmonton playing? Oh, what is Vegas doing? Or shout out to Bio, the Kings. Or, oh, wow, Tampa's playing in Washington against the Capitals, Ovechkin. I'm going to watch that. It's one of those things where if you're not a big-time fan of the sport or you don't care, you'll watch Rangers Canucks, this is where you're in that sports dead zone. And you know me, I do my damnness because of the love to stay on top of this. But let's take a look tonight. NBA. Just for an example. Your NBA schedule tonight, and I think you have a couple of ESPN games. Hello, click. You got Knicks Sixers, of course. You're going to be in tune with that. San Antonio Golden State. All right, no Steph Curry. Obviously, no Jimmy Butler. Yeah, on paper it looks sexy, but no. But here you go. Sacramento, Utah. Am I really going to watch that? Am I going to say, what's happening between Kings and Jazz? No. Am I going to look at Indiana at Brooklyn? And Indiana beat the Knicks last night at the Garden. But really, am I going to be wrapped up in that? Absolutely not. Atlanta at Charlotte. If you're going to watch Charlotte, let's see what they're about. But yeah, these are teams, games that, I'm sorry. And then tomorrow you have the two prime video games, Bucks and Thunder. Oh, excuse me. You're watching Portland, Utah, and Dallas is playing the Lakers. And who knows who's playing in that game. I mean, this is what I mean. This is part of the dead zone. Not every night you're going to get a marquee matchup in the NBA. I understand you're not going to get a marquee matchup in the NFL too, but again, that's with the gambling. That's everything I've talked about the NBA. Why? Thank God it's over because they suck all the oxygen out of the room. And the NHL, the same deal. Baseball, I get it. That's a marathon. But baseball, you may have a series or two. And obviously, early on in the season, you're going to watch your team. Hope springs eternal, etc. I get it. Once you get to Memorial Day, your team's already 10 games out. You're already probably thinking about football or maybe watching the Stanley Cup playoffs or the NBA playoffs. But baseball, as we all know, it's a long season. It gets you through the summer until we get to the Sports Dead Zone Part 2, which I'll save that for another time. But it's one of those things where it's going to be a slog between now and you could say day one of the tournament, which would be this year, March 19th. But if you really want to put the Sports Dead Zone to bed, it would be opening day of baseball, which this year, funny enough, the baseball season starts 6 weeks from today. I understand tomorrow in earnest, but today, because Netflix is hosting their first ever baseball game. Val, I'm sure you're well aware. Yankees at Giants. And it's interesting because, was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago. The Giants opened up at Yankee Stadium. Right, because they flip-flop every other year. Wait, 2020? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, because last year, Brewers were in New York. And San Francisco did come to New York. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. So they're going to open up the season again, this time out in the Bay Area. But that's what, hold on, let me go back here. But that's the situation. Until you get to opening day baseball, really, then that's where you could take the lid off of this or really close the lid on the Sports Dead Zone. Other than that, I mean, you're going to watch the Olympics. You're going to have no NBA, no NHL after tomorrow night. And, good luck. But that's all right, because I'll find something to talk about. The sports world always has something that will pop up, generate, but you've been warned. And like I said, the NBA All-Star break is approaching. I can't get wrapped up in any of the All-Star stuff, as you know. Saturday night's Valentine's Day. So I'll be, as a matter of fact, I know I talked about this, I believe on the Monday pregame. I'll be out and about during the day into the early evening. I haven't unveiled the plans to the wife yet. Is she watching? Let me see. Oh, nobody's watching. All right. Just want to make sure. But yeah, you have a situation where, hold on a second. Let me just double check. Yeah, you have a situation where I can watch the festivities and maybe if I'm home and I'm like, you know what, let me just turn it on and see what's happening. But am I going to run back from an afternoon, early evening out to be like, oh, wait, I got to see what's happening in the All-Star Saturday? No. The celebrity game the night before? Do they still do the rookies versus sophomores in the Friday night as well? Because they do the celebrity game, then the rookies versus sophomores, skills competition, All-Stars game. Yeah, I can't get into it. Sorry. I mean, I just cannot. But what I can get into and what I will unpack is this. Is the NBA going back to the 90s? Is this now going to be the new norm in the NBA where teams and players are going to start getting physical, as Olivia Newton-Johnson once sang? Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. This is the NBA 2026. This isn't the NBA 1996, where it was no blood, no foul if you got into the paint. But I have to say, I do like the physical play. I wish there was more of it. Physical within the boundaries, not what you saw there in Charlotte the other night, where Musa Diabate got in the face of Jalen Duren, and Duren just snuffed him, which almost led to a mouse at the Palace. Ironically, that the Pistons were involved in this. But, yeah, that was not a pretty scene. And earlier, I know when Val put up the suspensions, that's why Isaiah Stewart should have got 10 games. Because I know Miles Bridges was continuing to stick up for his team. And even when that scrum got from in front of the basket over to the sideline, opposite from where the benches were, then it went up to like mid-court where Bridges tried to get at Duren. And that's when Isaiah Stewart just came out of nowhere and tried to get after Bridges. And that's why he needed 10 games. I mean, come on. Like, what are you doing? This wasn't a thing where the skirmish started and then he ran off, which he still should have gotten 10 games. But he ran onto the court to try to either play peacemaker or, in his case, try to fight the entire Hornet team. Because Stewart is a guy, if you remember a few years ago in Detroit, where he got into it with LeBron and I believe was suspended over that. And for him to then run out on the court that way and start swinging, I mean, what are you doing? And I don't want to hear about, oh, he's a tough guy. He says, yeah, I get it, but do you know any better? And I think at that point, that's when the coaches were on the floor. And the coaches, obviously, they're going to try to play peacemaker and diffuse whatever situation that is on the court at the time. But come on. I mean, what's that guy doing? But you had that incident. 2 nights prior to that, you had Naz Reid go up against, I forgot what was on the Hawks. But you had a little fracas there. A few nights before that, the T-Wolves were involved again with Naz Reid. Excuse me, not Naz Reid, with Julius Randle. And he got into it with Chris Dunn on the Clippers. So is physical play going to be now a part of the NBA from here on out? Obviously not. If it was anything close to what we saw there, and forget about the 90s, even the 80s for that matter, with the Jordan rules, that would have been awesome. Because you want to talk about hard fouls. You want to talk about, nobody's coming into the paint. Kind of wish the NBA would adopt that now, but the game is so fast and it's just predicated on scoring, obviously shooting a million threes. But you like to see it, but again, you don't like to see it get out of hand like the way you saw it there on Monday night. I mean, that's it. But there's nothing wrong with physical play. I'm tired of seeing layups and dunks and matador defense. That's not what it's about. All right, I'm going to get to the comments in a second. Since I'm on the topic of basketball, I want to say what's happening in college basketball and I talked about UNC losing to Miami. What was it last night? Arizona losing their first loss of the year. A couple nights ago to Kansas. And yeah, I know I was going to talk about the tanking too. I guess I could go back to that. Yeah, college basketball right now, as I'm starting to warm up to it, because listen, have I been following from afar? Absolutely. But I have not watched games on a consistent basis. I just have not. And I'm being honest. But this is part of the Sports Dead Zone, right? This is where I can catch up on a lot of these games that, of course, we're in the middle of conference play. And I'll get a better feel as we get deeper into the month. Obviously, once we get into March, I'll bring myself up to speed as to what is happening there in that sport. But college, as we all know, it's about the tournament and nothing else. This isn't the college basketball that we go back 30 years where players stood, maybe not 4 years, but they stood 2, 3 years. And I get it. That was during a time where players weren't even going pro. They were going to college. They were going straight to pro. When you look at Kevin Garnett in 95, Kobe Bryant, the Jermaine O'Neals of the world, Tracy McGrady, the laundry list, until they revised the rules when it comes to players going into the NBA straight from high school. But how I look at it is that college, the sport now, and especially with NILs and all that, I mean, it's forever ruined. Could you imagine a player of, it doesn't have to be superstar, like a guy you know is going to be a can't miss. It could be a guy that, yeah, he's going to be a good NBA player. Maybe he's a multiple-time All-Star. That guy ain't staying. Even if the boosters, even whatever, NIL money, yeah, he could make 3, 4, 5 million. It's like, no, now I want to make 10 to 50 million. Well, he's not going to make 50 million in his rookie contract, but you understand where I'm coming from. So that's a situation where, with me, college basketball has fallen so far off of my consciousness, because I remember years ago when, and I understand it's going back 20, 30 years, but yeah, I used to look forward to watching Monday nights when the Big East was on ESPN, and I used to watch all, Georgetown, UConn, Georgetown, Villanova. I mean, you name it. Now, I mean, it's college basketball is a shell of what it once was. And unfortunately, a fan like myself, they're going to lose that. And who knows if even the young fans into college basketball, for all I know, they're probably not. So that's what I got with the basketball. And real quick with the tanking aspect, I know that Utah and Washington, both of those teams looking to tank because I believe with Utah, if their pick isn't in the top 8, it's not lottery protected. And as we talked about earlier, excuse me, earlier meaning weeks ago, how the Oklahoma City Thunder have the rights to the Clippers' first pick. That's because of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade. And obviously it's looking a little worse by the day considering how great the Clippers have played. They were, 6-21? Then they've come all the way back to the point where are they now in the standings? They got to be 9th? No, it may be on the outside. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, they're 10th. Yeah, and they have a 4-game lead, so they're going to make it into the postseason. So that pick is going to be useless. But Utah, if they happen to be outside of the top 8, they give up their pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I know a few nights ago, the Jazz were playing Orlando, and they had a 17-point lead in the game. And in the fourth quarter, they rested their starters. Like, what? Why are we doing that? And part of that is that the whole tanking process. And remember, it's not it is tanking, but it's not tanking like you would think it is based on back in the day when teams used to tank to try to get the worst record and the most ping pong balls when it comes to the lottery. No, this is a situation where their number 1 pick could be shipped to another team based on a trade that they made last year or 2 years ago, or however long ago it was. And knowing that it's a lottery protected pick, let's say in the top 8, but if they fall out of that, it's going to go to the team that they made a trade with. So you know that they're going to do their damnedest to not be outside the top 8, because if they do, they don't have a pick. So, and that's the problem with the NBA. How do you fix it? I mean, you can't tell players you can't send out a memo to say, if anybody's going to tank, we're going to take away your pick. I mean, maybe you could do that, but yeah, it's just ugly. And that's another reason why the NBA becomes a slog, and to watch some of those teams, the dregs of the league, like why am I turning on to watch Utah or the Wizards or the Nets or even this year, the Pacers? Not doing it. So that's what we got with the basketball. I'll get to some other things in a minute. I see I got a ton of comments here, so I got to get to those. Let's see. Hold on. Why does this leave me off on the last comment? That would be so convenient. That's all right. All right, here we go. Rob, hope you're still with us. Chasing points early in games is the biggest mistake. Oh, God, is it? Oh. And that's the one thing I give credit to Sean McVay in the championship game. Let me make sure I get the sequences right. Rams were up 13-10, then 17-13, then 24-13. 24-13, they get the touchdown. I think that was Puka's touchdown. He doesn't go for 2. Kicks the extra point, 24-20. Seahawks touchdown, 31-20. Rams answer with a score, extra point. I'm sure people at that point would have been, hey, why didn't you go for 2 there? You don't chase points until you absolutely have to. Mike Vrabel the other day, it's 19-6. 2-point conversion, you're 19-8. So let's say you stop them, you get the ball back, which they did at that point. You get the ball back, and let's say you get yourself in a position where, we can line for a field goal. We don't have to go for a touchdown. And you make it 19-11, and now you're within 1 score. I mean, these coaches are lost. Oh, you're welcome, Toppers. You know that. Always. Robert. Underwear Olympic, yes. That is definitely Chuck Noll. Yeah, Chuck Noll doesn't, talk about no nonsense. I do, but I don't, yeah. Absolutely. J-Rod, what is happening, my man? Whoop, hang on. There we go. Cheers. All right. I'm ready for free agency in the draft. Steelers 11. Yes. And that's right. You're a big Steeler fan. Listen, I love the Steelers too. Did you see what Joey Porter said about Ben Roethlisberger? I don't know if you caught those comments on Cam Hayward's podcast. You know what? If you haven't, let's when was that? 12:27? Well, I was 23 minutes ago. Robert, I hope you're still with us. I have to scroll down. Can I just leave that there? Hold on. Victor, my man, what is happening? Came by, give me a like. I appreciate you, man. You know I appreciate you, Victor. Thank you so much. I know it's raining down in your neck of the woods, too. All right, toppers. Hey, Reed Dion, shout out to you, my man. Bio with a good question. I'll get to that. Reed, I know, like Wemby. Don't worry. I'll get to everybody's comments. I just want to make sure that Robert is still with us. I don't know if he is. Yeah, I'm scrolling. Yeah, I don't think he is. Fishing Angel, shout out to you, of course. All right, let me scroll back up to Robert's comment. Ready for free agency in the draft. Yeah, I can see that. What they're going to do is going to be fascinating. Are they going to do their best to... I don't know if they're going to trade up. I mean, do they have assets? I know they have a bunch of picks, but that's not going to be enough. They need a quarterback. No, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Sorry. That ship has already sailed. No offense to him, but... all right. Let me pull this up real quick. We'll have some fun with this. Robert, I don't know if you're with us. If you are, fantastic. If not, that's okay too. Sorry for my forearm in the camera there. I should have had this done prior to, but hang on. You know what? Let me put this here. Where's that other cable? My network cable. Here I am going back to my old AV days. All right, let's see. Joey Porter. What happened to my mouse? There we go. Joey Porter on Ben Roethlisberger. Yep, here it is. All right, let me wait before I even play this. Ooh, this came up on Facebook? All right. Well, let's unmute it. Gotta do that. All right, guys, stand by. Check this out. Just had to move that there. All right, here we go. Joey Porter today, or this was yesterday, maybe during the Super Bowl, and I guess it just was released today. And I'll share my thoughts on this if I must. But share screen, come on. All right, here we go. Share. Jeez, 9,000 clicks later. All right, let's get myself in the low box here. And I'll maximize this. Is that not full? That's full. All right, cool. Here we go.
That we don't talk about.
I know.
Is the 7 dude that did that we don't talk about.
I know.
Is crazy. Like out of anybody should talk, he should never grab a microphone and really talk Steeler business. Yeah. Because if we talk in Steeler business, his ass is foul of all foul. Like that he's did is foul of all foul. He's not a good teammate. Won a Super Bowl with him, but the person, he's just not a good teammate. Like he knows that. Anybody in the Steeler building knows that. But we protected him because I've only won one Super Bowl, and that was my quarterback. So do I love my quarterback? Yeah, but is he a good person? No.
Me and Tom, man, I love.
Oh, where's that coming from? I see here's something else happening. Hold on, let's can I get this out of here now? Thank you. Stop sharing. Yeah. My guy Peasy. And you know what? Listen, I love Ben Roethlisberger. He is one of my all-time favorite athletes. But we know of his shortcomings, especially early on in his Steeler career. Winning a Super Bowl, driving literally weeks after winning a Super Bowl without a helmet, gets into an accident, could have derailed his career, let alone his life. Then you had the situation with the woman in Vegas and the young girl in Georgia. Had to go through that. The Sports Illustrated article and cover story about him just being uber entitled. And it's crazy because he came from a good family, has a sister, but yeah, thought he was the man and then some. And Joey Porter, remember, he was there 04, 05 when Ben was there. Was he there in 06 team? Yeah, I want to say he was on the 06 team and then he left because I remember he played for the Dolphins 07 and actually intercepted a pass in that game from Ben. But listen, I believe Joey Porter. And frankly, it sucks, but what are you going to do? It'll be interesting to see if Ben's going to have anything to retort on that. I think he should. But we shall see. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with Steelers stuff. I just thought to throw that in there. Thanks to Robert and what he said. Hold on. Where are the comments? All right, let me continue here. Where is it? Sorry, I got to scroll all the way back up. No, not that far. Hold on. Oh, here we go. J-Rod, happy about his Michigan basketball team loading. I could see that without question. Playing very well. Yep, tonight. Actually, it's in Golden State, but no Curry, no Butler. You know the deal. I'm watching Power Slap during the Sports Dead Zone. Oh, God, is that? Yeah, is that what it's called when they do that and then they smack? I mean, it's either that or watching cornhole tournaments. What do you think about that, Minnesota? Yeah, 7-game suspension. I said 10, but who am I? Lakers are naming Luke Getsy the quarterback coach. Okay. Returned to Green Bay last year as a senior assistant. Tell about Mr. Jordan Love. I don't know. Let me think. Yeah, Green Bay fell apart at the end of the year, and I get it. No Micah Parsons, etc. I don't want to see me into the postseason, and I go for certain teams. All right. Hey, that's fine. No worries about that, Toppers. Good for you. Saw it on X. Yes. Yes, Fishing Angel. Salute. What is this? Sean Mannion, who left the Eagles. From my last post to the world. That's all right. Wow, it's all good. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Supposed to be long time assistant. Yeah, Darryl Bevel. So, yeah, and they're going to need him considering that the Bryce Young, who's uneven up and down, but she's there. Up and down, but at the same time, anything to help the young quarterback will certainly be a plus. Yes, Fishing Angel. Look at that. What is that? Is that a bald eagle on a motorcycle with the American flag? It's pretty badass. Now, did you make that yourself or did you find that online somewhere? Val, much appreciated. You know, everything. All you guys. Good part. Thank you, Val. Loves the channel. And what more can I tell you? Yeah, the Rams player who retired, that was it Rob Havenstein? Yeah, I know they have that here. In fact, Baya, what do you think about that? Baya, if you're still with us. Sure he's not happy. Let me see. 11 seasons. Rob Havenstein. 11 seasons. And obviously, you play 11 years in the NFL. That's a good thing. Supposed to be 50 degrees here Friday, going to hit the river. Nice. Yeah, today's 40. I don't know what the high's supposed to be. Maybe low 40s. But not good for you. Would that be your first fishing? That'd be first fishing attempt in a while, I would think, no? Considering how cold it's been. Yes, I saw that about Corbin Carroll. And a hamate bone is another guy. You got Lindor. Alvarez last year. Who's the other guy? There was another person, too. It eludes me right now. Yes, for opening day. Finally getting warm up to go fishing. Yes, I'm sure you guys are excited for that. I don't know. Yes. Dodgers haven't finished a 1-year deal, so it's the next. All right. J-Rod, you think about. Oh, hold on. What is that? Let me see. I know it's directed towards J-Rod. And listen, he goes home. I'm sure this is it for him. He's going to be 43, I think, next week. I mean, 43. No spring chicken. He's been around the block several times. Just about time for him to call it a career. Super Bowl playing on Valentine's Day next year. Way to go, NFL. Yeah, that is. You're right, Toppers. And that'll actually be before President's Day. So for those working or work at a job that they reserve holidays or honor holidays, next year is going to be good in that regard. But the caveat is it's on Valentine's Day. And I know my wife brought that up to me 2 weeks before the game began, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. And she said to me, she goes, "Oh, we're playing something. We're doing something." And in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, watch the Steelers make it to the Super Bowl. Well, I guess it's going to be an early Valentine's Day. No, we shall see. If she's watching right now, I'm sure she'll probably send me a text saying, that's not happening. Toppers, yes, Val. Jordan Montgomery agrees to deal. John Heyman. Now, Montgomery was with Arizona, but I guess he had an opt-out. $25 million. And remember, Montgomery won a World Series with the Rangers in 23. I was thinking, I said, wait a minute, wasn't it 24? But 24 was the Dodgers, of course. So Isaiah had no problem fighting. Yes. The whole Bobcat team. They were the Charlotte Bobcats once upon a time. That's a good one, J-Rod. Yeah, no, he's one of those. He's a bit of a hothead. I mean, you like his fire, you like his energy, but yesterday, like, what was he doing? But I hear what you're saying, Jay. Yes, after the All-Star break, he'll be back. Porzingis as well. What is happening? Yes. I think Steph Curry will probably sit out. Probably. Who knows? We shall see. Like the Joyce probably know that. And move on. I didn't know about that. Really? As far as. See, I didn't know about that. Interesting. Good one there, Jay. Yeah, kind of excited. Also nervous. Giants have new manager. Yeah, I know. You're right about that. We'll see how that plays out. I heard SoFi. Yep, exactly. I know the Summer Olympics are in LA. SoFi, yes, they are hosting the Super Bowl next year. And then the year after that, I believe it's in Vegas. Thank you, Val. Much appreciate you. Big 12 Conference is going to start using LED lights. Is that right? Oh, wow, Bio. That's good information there. I did not know that. Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, I see those flashing lights. I think about the Intuit Dome. I don't know if they flash, but I guess the wall that they have, which is really rows of seating, I see just like a bunch of lights there. And I wonder if it's similar to that. I'd be curious. Valby Ramsey playing the Super Bowl next year in SoFi and win another ring at home. There's the receipt, people. You heard it here first. Your thoughts on Sam Darnold? Ooh. So wait a minute. He's going to have to owe then. No. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head. So 249. Well, let's face it. Yeah, it's going to be almost $450,000. Yeah. Obviously, he's a California kid, as you know. And wow, they got a $178,000 bonus, huh? Yeah, I what could you say, Minnesota Fats? I'm just trying to think, like, how. $249,000 in state tickets. That's crazy. Now that's also including his home too, I guess, right? No, that's state income tax. That's different. Man, I tell you. Yes, I did read. Welcome back. I appreciate you. Just curious what sports sports apps do I use too? Well, the sports app that comes to mind that I use, now obviously no gambling, but I'll go ESPN, I'll go CBS Sports, which is pretty good. You know what's really good when it comes to sports, as far as like breaking stuff, not literal breaking, but breaking news, is Twitter. But yeah, I go ESPN. I only because, as much as I'm not a fan of their content, their TV stuff, but the app is pretty good because I get to watch highlights. I understand I can do that on Twitter too, but yeah, I don't do like Bleacher Report or what else. It's another sports app. I gotta go on my phone. There you go. That may be the only one I use, or two. That and the CBS. No. Yeah, I'm curious, Bio. What do you use for your sports apps? Whoa, what was that? No. Sacramento Kings. Is that right? I gotta look that up. Oh, you could say that for a lot, yeah, because they're last, aren't they? Standing Sacramento. 12-43. Yes. And they've lost 13 in a row. Please, Vincent Barty can come back. Ain't no way he's gonna save that team. All right, let me stop bouncing around. Let me get back to this. All right, it's the Chargers. Right, but the same thing. All right, I know I got you there. Toppers, Val B. Yes. Yes, Victor, I had to put your comment up there. I don't know if you're still around with us, but much appreciated. Go Brownies. I know he's a huge Cleveland Brown fan. Val, I believe Draymond got benched 2 games in the end. It was announced by Steve Kerr. Huh. Yeah, I didn't hear. But wait. Oh, that was Monday. Oh, for coming off the bench? No, not for that. 6 likes on this live. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Take it. Hold on a second. All right. Oh, Minnesota Fats. That's Lindor. All right. Get that sucker done now, and let's go. Yeah, let's go. No fooling around. I'm glad I got it done now because, please, that would have been a waste. Him starting the season 2nd or 3rd week of April. Kings, are they tanking? I don't think so. I don't think they've given up any one of their picks or they have a pick swap with a team. But yeah, they've been putrid. Yeah, they're not tanking like Washington and Utah, though. Bassmaster Classic. And when is that, J-Rod? Is that this weekend? Yes, Fishing Angel. Val. Yeah, willing to testify. Yeah, I talked about that on the podcast too. That, I mean, I don't know. You know, people are wired differently. I mean, I don't know what to say. I may tune into it. I know USB Canada, the women's. And yeah, I haven't been on top of the hockey just yet, but I don't think much has happened there. But yeah, I'll definitely peep it. Not sure I've been watching Olympics recently, but maybe I'll watch hockey. All right. Well, hang on. Here we go. The 2 separate videos, Sir Ball. Can't see everyone's comments. 2 separate videos. Oh, wait a minute. So do you see me in the landscape and they also have me in the portrait? Is that what that is? I'm curious. Big Rob is appealing rescue. Yeah. Haverstein. Yeah, no, that's a tough loss. Bio for sure. Found it, but it represents our country, what's going on in the world nowadays. Oh, is that right? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm scrolling up to see what that was. I have to go back and check these comments. All right. Let's see. Score app. Why is this clicking? All right, we're going fishing for Valentine's Day. Yes, we are. No, how you guys a weird couple? That's what you guys are doing. That's what you guys are doing. And first open water of the season, which is great. And Fishing Angel, what'd you find again? Represents the country? Curious. There you go. You tell them, Fishing Angel. Well, hang on. Yeah, my mouse is, I don't know what's happening today. No, definitely not weird. Far from it. Yep, here we go. Nice. Max Cro- Whoa, hold on a second. Let me get to that. Now, yeah, if that would have happened, geez. I know there was talk about maybe Max Crosby. Damn, what was that trade again? I forgot. Hold on. Yeah, let me not get wrapped up in that. I know I still got to touch on a couple other things. Matching. Oh, forget about it. Definitely will be a cheat code. And Lions make it to the Super Bowl. J-Rod saying, hell with it. I'm going back 2 years ago. We'll get back there. Sam Darnold should pay the $250 tax on pennies. Oh, yeah, if he could do that. You want to be petty, why not? Oh, CBS. Score. Come on. Is this battery? Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm over here fighting with this mouse. All right. Is this going to work now, please? All right. Thank you. Can I just click? Hold on. Wait, it's clicking. It's not. Let's try it again. Sorry for the technical difficulties that you're not seeing. Thank God. The Score app. Oh, I actually had that once upon a time. I should go back to that. Kings with 44 losses. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's brutal. Think about this. 3 years ago, Mike Brown was the coach of the year. Sacramento went to the playoffs, pushed the Warriors to a 7th game, down 3-2 in the first round. Now, they lost in game 7 because Steph had 50 that day. But you're thinking, all right, Sacramento, we're back. And now here it is. Brown gets fired last year. De'Aaron Fox gets traded to San Antonio. San Antonio's flying high. Sacramento, light the beam. What? They'd be happy to flick a lighter. Oh, that's rough, though. Fish games, I don't think fish like chocolate, but we could try it. Oh, what did I see? Did I miss something? Hold on. Fish like chocolate. Oh, here we go. Don't forget the chocolates, too. Yes. Fish like chocolate. Let's see. What do we have? What do we have? What is this bio? Lions, Rams conference champion, Ford Field, mark it down. Lions will get the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. I think I've been, did I just post that before? Yeah. What's happening with these comments? My bad. March 13 to 15 in Tennessee this year. Oh, okay. All right. I was saying, don't forget my targets. Oh, this. Fishing Angel, what kind of chocolate? They're two separate videos. Not everyone's on the same video. You can't see everyone's comments. Oh, I know why. If you're on your phone, you probably can't see the comments because it's in portrait mode. I guess you can connect landscape as well, I assume. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to connect, and maybe you'll be able to see the comments there, but yeah, other than that, I'm not really too aware of that there, Jay. By the way, everyone, Variety Network is a free app. Oh, okay. Oh, that's good to know. College football. All right. And then Fishing Angel. Oh. Chocolate covered cherry. Okay. Yeah, chocolate covered cherry. I haven't had one of those in forever. Then again, I don't mess with candy like that. Like I once did many moons ago. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's go here. Now, I have not, since Saturday, watched the Olympics. As you know, Olympics are my thing. No offense to the athletes, et cetera, but when you don't have an investment in something, and even though there may be a story or person, I know the Ilya Malinin, the quad god, everybody's looking at him to be that, you want to say Michael Phelps / Simone Biles when it comes to winning golds and having that personality and being that star of the Olympics. Because besides that, yeah, I mean, the hockey I'll definitely get into. I got to check the schedule for that. And that just goes to show you. I don't even know when the schedule is for when USA's playing or Canada for that matter. I'm sure they got to start soon. Because the Olympics go through next week, and the closing ceremonies are a week from this coming Sunday, which is what date? Wait, hold on, 14, 15. So the 22nd is the final day. But yeah, I'm not really into it. Maybe I'll get into it. I know Sports Dead Zone, etc. But yeah, I have not been pumped. Now, for most places, I think there's a couple of teams that will have pitchers and catchers report tomorrow or by Friday the latest. And I'm excited. I know 6 weeks from today, baseball season begins, and really in earnest 6 weeks from tomorrow. And we could go through all the acquisitions and everything that's transpired and blah, 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 whatever. But we still got to get through the rest of this month and pretty much all of March before we could say play ball. And, I'll be over the moon when that day comes. And then we talked about this already. Mainly surgery. Juan Soto to the left, I like that. Now, I understand he's going to play left field for the Dominican team in the World Baseball Classic, but he has stated that he wants to stay in left field, which to me is a good thing. Right field, that's for a position player who not only fields, of course, but obviously has a good arm. And Soto's arm is, it's more than okay. It's actually good. It's not really accurate. Put it this way, he has a strong arm. Doesn't have a great arm. It's good, not accurate. And for him to play left field, I think for him it's much better. Now, who plays right field? Is that going to be Carson Benj? Is that somebody else that may be in the wings, minor leagues, or even here on the major league level? But we'll see. But yes, I only bring that up because Soto's a guy that we've seen in right field over the last few years. Yankees, Mets, I believe toward the end of his Padre tenure, which wasn't long there anyway. But yeah, those may be thinking like, oh, wait a minute, but what about Soto? How come he moved to left field? Well, now you know. So that's what I have there. Let me see what we got comments. I listen to all my local sports. No, yeah, you have to. Yeah, even the NFL, it's Rob King and Max Starks. If I'm on Sirius XM, especially driving, I'll listen to the game there. Yeah, no, the Celtics too. Yeah, the Celtics used to have. Oh no, well, they used to have Tommy Heinsohn, but they have Sean Grand and Brian Scalabrine, I believe. Not that I'm listening to the radio games or the radio broadcasts, but yeah, but I do the same thing, Bio. If whenever I do, you like Ferrero Rocher? What about the Raffaellas? Have you ever had those Minnesota Fats? That's very good, but I haven't eaten one of those in a while. J-Rod, lots of American Olympic athletes. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know why. Well, I will say this. In the case of, what's that guy's name? Hunter Hess, I believe it was. Let me look him up real quick. Stand by. I think his name is Hunter Hess. Yep, here he is. How old is this kid? 27. Yes, but I want to get his exact quote because I remember what he said. He had mixed feelings. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's talk about this. This should be fun. And what the hell? Because when sports, I understand it's a skiing, it's Olympics, but let's touch on it. So remember, it's a slow news day. So, J-Rod, we're going to unpack this. All right. The one athlete, I don't know about any others, but the one that I know has gotten a lot of pub a few days ago is this. Can I hold on? I want to share this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Here we go. Share. Pow. Oh, it takes up the whole screen? Get this out of here. All right. Here's what he wrote, if you could see, or here's what he said, I should say. U.S. Olympian Hunter Hess said there's so much that is great about America, but there are always things that could be better. He is not wrong, number one. A day after the president lashed out at him for saying he had mixed feelings about representing the United States in Winter Olympics in response to a journalist question last week. Love my country, so much great about America, but there are always things to be better. One of the many things that makes this country so amazing that we have the right to freedom, blah, blah, blah. Best part of Olympics, brings people together, so many divided, but we need it more than ever. Cannot wait to represent Team USA, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the snowboarders? All right, I can get to that in a second. Hold on, but let me just click on this for a moment because here we go. Ready? I love the USA. Wait, hold on a second. I want to make sure this is Hunter. Oh, no, this is Chris Lillis. All right, I'll get to that in a second. Here we go. Hunter Hess. So, yeah. I think it brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now. I think it's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on and that I'm not the biggest fan of. And I think a lot of people aren't. I think for me, it's more I'm representing my friends, family back home, the people that represented it before me, and all the things I believe that are good about the U.S. I just think if it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So, yeah, I kind of want to do it for my friends and family and people supporting to get me here. And then, of course, the president comes out and says that he's a real loser. Very hard to root for someone like this. Let me stop sharing. Oh, yeah, there I was right there. I don't know if you're able to see that. This is what I'm going to say about that. Because, wait, what's going on here? Oh, all right. I just want to make sure. Let me stop sharing because I know it looks like it's kind of weird. Hold on. Stop sharing. Still getting used to this. For Hunter has to say that, is he wrong? He is not. And right, the freedom, expression, etc. But for the president to come out and say he's a real loser, I mean, seriously? Don't you think that's a little bit too strong? I mean, he's just expressing how he feels. He didn't say anything about, oh, this guy, that guy, this person, that person. Like he singled everybody out. He just said, yeah, there's things that are wrong here that I don't agree with. They don't align with what my moral values. But he's here. All right. And I guess somebody had asked him the question. I don't think he came out and said, and I'll double check that. I don't think he came out and said, oh, well, this is my stance on things. Let me just double check that. Hold on a second. Let me double check that because I want to make sure he was asked that. Because if he came out and said it, all right, he shouldn't have said that. Hold on. And then the other guy, too, sharing their thoughts about, for the most part, American athletes spoke general in terms about their views, avoiding direct criticism. I love the USA. I would never want to represent it, blah, blah, blah. In response to questions, so now they were asked questions referencing ICE's actions in Minneapolis and protests against them. Well, here's the thing, J-Rod. I can understand what you mean by that, but if he's going to be asked a question, and if that's their answer, they have a right to answer it that way. I could see it was a thing where, let's just say, these Olympic athletes won a medal, and they interview him right afterwards. Oh, how was that run? Or how was that, did you expect to break the world record? No, I didn't expect to break it. It was unbelievable. But also I want to say about ICE, about America, about this. All right, obviously that's not the time and place for it. That I agree. But if they're being asked a question where, in response to what's going on in Minneapolis or even whatever else is going on here in the country, and that is their answer, then guess what? They have every right to answer it that way. I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. And yeah. And right, where it intersects with sports, with politics, I know Bio brought this up yesterday, I believe. Or was it during the pregame? The podcast pregame on Monday? I think it was. Yeah, I mean, if somebody's going to come in here and start talking about, what do you think about what happened in Minneapolis? I'm not going there. I have my views, whatever, that's fine. But when politics intersects with sports, now this is where I step up to the plate. And who knows who the reporter was? I don't know if it was an American reporter or if it was someone from Italy or someone overseas, whatever. But you know what? They have a right to answer it however they deem fit. And to be honest with you, what they answered was real, was harmless. Nobody said anything. None of those skiers came out and said, oh, yeah, I can't stand this guy, or, oh, this one needs to go away, or no. And then what is the retort? Oh, he's a real loser. Listen, I'm not even going to unpack. Listen, I'm not even going to unpack because then people are going to think that I'm slanted toward a certain way. And to me, it's what's right and what's wrong. I've said this all along. What's right and what's wrong. What he said is not far-fetched. It's not far from the truth. And your response is going to be, oh, that guy's a real loser. You know what I say? Accountability is everything. Look in the mirror. I'll just leave it at that. I will just leave it at that. All right, J-Rod, this is going to be fun. We'll go back and forth on this. I've seen 3 videos so far, and it's sad as, yeah. J-Rod, if they're being asked the questions and they're answering it, that's all I could say. I don't care about political beliefs. No, I hear that. But to go in front of the world and say stuff like that about the country you represent, in my opinion, wrong place, wrong time. Again, if they're asked, they have every right to answer it that way. Now, again, if they're accepting a medal, hey, all right, great. Oh, by the way, this, that, and the third, blank ice, blah, blah, whatever. Then it's like, oh boy, just like you see in the Oscars, or just like you see at the Grammys or whatever. And I get it. That's their moment to come up and say something. You can take it or leave it. You can like it, not like it, whatever. It's not like they're being asked that. I could dig it. And me, I just tune it out anyway. I don't, even if it is the Oscars, even if it is I tune it out. I could care less. For real. That doesn't bother me. Same thing. Hey, listen, I'm going to bring this up. Same thing with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. People got so outraged over that. I'm like, seriously? What? You didn't watch a game. Who cares what he did before the game? Who cares? Don't get me started on that. No, on Kaepernick, because, you know, that's when the pass was really going to come out. And to me, it's not even about the whole kneeling thing. And here I am going to unpack this. It's not even about that, but it's just people outraged over it. Or even Alejandro Villanueva, the former offensive lineman of the Steelers, when the Steelers were in Soldier Field, 2017, and Tomlin and he said, well, the team, do you want to go out there for the national anthem? And he said, no. And Villanueva didn't go out, but he stood at the tunnel because obviously he served for our country. But he wasn't out there on the sideline for everybody to see. And people are outraged over that. Seriously? What? Why are people getting bent out of shape over that? And people say, oh, Jay Reels, you don't know, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm there to watch a game. I could care less. You want to kneel? You want to lay down on the ground? You want to do backflips? You want to fall asleep with it standing, sit, national anthem? I could care less. So what? I mean, people I'm going to say this. For people that flip out over that, like if I go to a sporting event and there's somebody sitting for the national anthem, let them sit. I don't care. Why? Why should I be so outraged? Hey, you got to stand up. What? Also, that means that if people in the bathroom during the national anthem got to run out of the bathroom and go, oh, wait, I got to stand to the flag. Or people that are online ordering food, oh, wait, I got to go out. Come on. Come on. Let's be real, people. People there watch a game. People do whatever they want. Whatever, right? Whatever that flag's supposed to symbolize freedom, they can do whatever the hell they want. That's it. What they do is not going to bother me. Why would it bother me? Why? All of a sudden, I'm going to be, So that means to tell me if I didn't root for the U.S. in hockey, you know what? I think Canada, their favorite, I think I'm going to pick them. If I put money on Canada to win, does that mean I'm unpatriotic? Oh, you're not American? Get the hell out of here with that. No. Stop. Sports. Again, sports, people. We're there for sports. If you're at a rally, that's a different story. Political stuff, different story. If you're at a sporting event and, oh, this guy didn't stand for the national anthem, this guy's kneeling, this guy's sleeping, this guy's yodeling, this guy, so what? So what? So what? Find something else to do if that's the case. If you're going to be so wrapped up in other people's business. Matt, I know you had to comment there. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Again, it's not like that person's coming into my house, and let's say if I had an American flag in my house, they come in and they take an American flag and they run. That's a different story. You're in a public space, in a ballpark, in an arena, whatever, and if one person doesn't want to do it, if 50 people, if I'm the only one standing, everybody's sitting, so be it. I'll be like, all right, cool. Bio, you hit it right in the head. Thank you. And listen, you said it for me. You said it for me, Bio. Can I highlight this? Is there a star? Wait, so if I do that, hold on a second. I'm testing something. All right. Bio, you hit it right in the head. Country is a mess. It's a disaster. And it's not even about the stuff that is, please, don't even get me started. Because I'm going to come at it more from, I'll shut up. I know you guys don't want to hear what I have to say about that. But no, but I agree with Bio, and I agree with, again, if that guy came out and said just damning things, he didn't say anything. He was just speaking his mind, and he was asked a question. People die, so we have freedom of speech. Censorship is not good anyway. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Can't go in front of talk. Yeah, but was he talking bad about the country, though, Jay? Can we be real? Was he talking bad? I just read the quotes. He wasn't talking bad. He just says they don't align with my moral values. That's it. He didn't say F this guy. USA is a toilet bowl. He didn't say any of that. Yes, I agree with the bio, especially if we're going to talk down. Yeah, but again, I could read the quotes. I don't think he was talking down. Minnesota. Well, here's the thing, Minnesota. If he was asked a question, and that's why I went back to this article. This is why I go CBS News. I usually go CBS Sports. And one more time. Yeah, the Chris Lillis guy. Yeah, that's another one. I guess he came out and said something. Hold on. Yeah, this was the Chris Lillis. Because it says, all right, I'll take his quote because to follow up, I love the USA. I think I would. And he's look, the first thing he said was, I love the USA. And I think I would never want to represent a different country in the Olympics. Okay, it's 2 for 2 right there. With that being said, you know, a lot of times athletes are hesitant to talk about political views, how we feel about things. I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States. Team USA freestyle skier Chris Lillis told journalists on Friday in response to questions referencing ICE's actions in Minneapolis and the protests against them. Asked the question. He just answered it. He answered it honestly. He answered it succinctly. To me, he didn't say anything bad. Said he was heartbroken. Which I'm sure everybody else, if you have a heart and you still saw what was going on, you feel the same way. That's it. There wasn't anything negative there. But of course, the leader of the free world, that's called him a loser. For what? I know, but then the thing is, if I start, and the funny thing is that people are going to misconstrue this. That, oh, well, I must be pro skiers or I'm on their side or whatever. That has nothing to do with that. Because to me, what he said, there's a lot of truth in what he said. Now, if he came out and he was pointing fingers at people and people in the Indian administration or the leader of our free world, that's one thing. I'd be like, oh, all right, well, maybe he shouldn't have said that. But to me, what he said was nothing scathing. At least in my eyes, I can read it again. Or correct me if I'm wrong, people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Say, Jay Reels, I don't know, that's out of line, that's out of this. I don't think what he said was out of line. I really don't. And the same thing for Hunter Hess. So, Minnesota, I hear you. And one more time, if he came out there, put it this way. If Hunter Hess came out with a shirt in Italy that said, whatever, no ice, F ice, this and that, now you're talking. Now you're cooking. Now he's just garnering all that attention to him to say, hey, look what I'm wearing, whatever. And I understand it's not like he plays for it. I understand he's representing the country, but he is an individual that is representing his event, his sport. And if that's what he feels he wants to do, then that's on him. He's going to have to face that firestorm if he came out with a shirt like that. Just like you saw the other day, let me lighten it a little bit, with Bill Belichick's girlfriend came out with the T-shirt of the place, the massage parlor in Florida that Robert Kraft got busted in prior to the AFC Championship game in 2018. So, yeah, I mean, come on. That was classless. I mean, let's call it as we see it. But, right, if the skiers came out with shirts like that, then they're fair game. But if they're answering a question in that regard, I mean, to me, And J-Rod, listen. No, and listen, Minnesota fans, I agree with you on that. But if they're asked a question and they answer it, I can't kill them for that. And Bio, there you go. There you go. And then Minnesota fans, if I was asked a political question, I'd just chant USA, USA to drown out the troll reporters. All right, well, then that's you. Okay. If you ask a political question, you can say USA, or you could just say no comment. And even though, right, people are going to construe that as, oh, he must be anti this or anti that, whatever. But that's the thing. If they were asked a question, all they're doing is answering it. If they weren't asked a question and they decide to just blurt it out there or just, this is how I feel, whatever, then that's not the right place and time. Right. If we care what other countries think of us because our athletes, then we need to feel the same about our politics. Well, yeah. Bio. Bullseye. All right, here we go. Ready? J-Rod. So the athlete has the right to say what he wants, but Trump isn't in the wrong. No, he's not in the wrong, but do you have to call a guy a loser? He could have said, I disagree. I think our country's fine. I don't think there's any problems with it, blah, blah, blah. Which, to me, if you were to say that, I mean, really? But you didn't have to call him a loser. Jay, that's like you. See, you made it personal to him. That's the problem. If you came out to me, and you've teased me, and we've had front, back, and forth bantering about stuff. If you said to me, I think even Steelers, Texans during the playoff game, I think you made a comment or whatever. And I know it wasn't personal. I know you're having fun, but that's like you telling me, oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers looking like the old man he is. Well, bye-bye Steelers. And then I respond to you, J-Rod. Oh, yeah? Thanks, loser. You're going to be like, yo, I'll be blunt here. You're going to be like, yo, what the fuck? You're going to be like, time out. Why you got to call me a loser? What's up with that? Correct? Be honest. Be honest. So that's not to say that he can't retort to what the skier said. But did you have to come out and say that? And you know the answer to that. That you can't defend. He could say, no, I think he's wrong. No. He was out of line by saying that. All right, you want to say that's his opinion? Fine. He's going to call him a loser because of that? That I don't buy. We need to show other countries that we can speak our minds without any repercussions. That's freedom. It's like we're afraid to let people speak nowadays. Absolutely. I agree with that. And again, if our president would have come out to say, just like that skier had the right to answer that question the way he did, and it gets back to him, he could say, well, I disagree with him. Or you know what? He's wrong. Which that would be strong too, because what? All of a sudden our country's perfect, which we know it's not. But then again, every country on this planet is not perfect, as we know. But he could say that. But you call somebody a loser. I mean, seriously? Come on. Why you got to make it personal? Why? That's my point. And that's why I gave you the example, J-Rod, of, or just like when people come in here, people have come into the chat room. Just last week or 2 weeks ago after, I hate to bring it up, but Rams Seahawks. And people say, LA, oh, why am I jocking on LA, blah, blah. I said, no, I'm not jocking on the Rams. Or people that are killing the Rams, our Rams suck or whatever. It's like, yo, come on, let's not get that crazy. Now, of course, it didn't get personal. It wasn't if they were directing comments towards Bio to say whatever. Because then I have that's what I jump in and be like, nobody's going to be name calling. Nobody's going to be, that's not happening here. But that's my point. He made it personal. And there's no room for that. Jake, I know. I shaved it yesterday. They kneel when they sign that contract. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that there, Jake. Yeah. You ain't wrong. Hunter has us a low IQ, no nothing skier, another useful idiot. All right, Minnesota. If that's how you feel, Minnesota, listen, I'm not going to tell you, you don't know. But listen, I don't know the guy from a hole in the wall. How many times do I say, Hunter Hess can knock on this door, and I'll be like, who? Hi, I'm Hunter Hess from the skier. You are? Oh, wow. I wouldn't know. Lindsey Vaughn, I know, because you see her all the time. Hunter Hess, I'm not watching it. As I said to you a few minutes ago, I'm not watching the skiing. I'm not really dialed into the Olympics. But I don't know these people. I don't know these people from a hole in the wall. I don't know them personally, so I'm not going to knock them. I'm not. Hey, listen, Hunter Hess may have a low IQ. How many people got on Ryan Lochte? Remember the swimmer? Where Lochte, a lot of people think, they call him Lochte that got rocks for brains. He's not too bright. And I know he had that incident in Brazil, was it 2016, where he went out drinking or whatever, something happened. And again, not that you, I, or anybody are in Ryan Lochte's circle, but based on the reputation, based on what we've seen, heard, whatever, you could say, oh, yeah, this guy doesn't have a full deck. All right. I don't know about Hunter Hess. I can't say that. Minnesota, you want to say that? I can hear you. But I can't. Bio, I don't think it's so much freedom of speech. I feel it's the worries of social media consequences of the problem. I'm curious, social media consequences. What, for people that are watching that, reading it, reading what Hunter says? Because how I look at it is, and listen, you know me, guys, I played it right down the middle. I read what he wrote, and I read it a zillion times. I'd be like, okay, that's how he feels. All right. He's not wrong, and that's it. But I understand there's some people that they'll read the first sentence. They'll read, I love the USA. I wouldn't represent another country, but, and they'll read the but, and right away it's like, I got my sleeves rolled up. I'm ready to fight. Come on, people, put your energy towards something else. Look at what the quote is for what it is. Don't look at anything past that. And again, if that guy came out and said, yeah, F this, F that, yeah, I'm only representing here, but I'm leaving the U.S. after the Olympic or whatever, then you can be like, yo, all right, well, tell us how you really feel there, skier X. No, he didn't say that. But I get it. Social media, people are going to take one thing and blow it out of proportion. Oh, Olympic skiers. And that's the thing. Clickbait, rage bait, people. Not to say that headline was that, but you're going to have people, like you're saying, if that's what you're referring to, J-Rob, with the social media consequences, then that's on the individual who is going to read that. Or worse, maybe not CBS News, but somebody's going to copy and paste that and then put their own headline above it saying like, get this loser out of here. Or, oh, you know what? You don't want to be here. Get out of here. And then you're like, whoa, what did this guy say? And then you read what he says like, really? It's like the game of telephone. Fishing Angel. People can speak their minds, but they need to be respectful about it. Oh, no, I agree that if that's a general statement, 1,000%. Yeah, gotta be respectful. I mean, just like, I don't know. Let me think of an example. I think I've given enough examples, but right. I mean, put it this way, and I'll put it towards me. How about that? Let's say we all go out drinking. Fishing Angel, you, me, your husband, Bio, we're all out, we're drinking. And generally, I don't drink to get drunk. I'll have a few drinks, maybe a little buzz, but that's it. And that's it. I'm not belligerent. I'm not gropey. I'm not now. No, I'm chill. I'm good, whatever. But let's just say, just for the sake of this discussion, I get a little crazy. I'm not yelling now. Hey, what's up? Hey, or whatever. I'm sure respectfully tell me, Jay, you need to calm down. Or no more drinks for you, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we're looking out for you. This is your best interest, whatever. So you're telling me I need to stop or I need to chill out, but you're doing it respectfully. You're like, oh, you act like an idiot, bro. But then it's like, all right, now you're making it personal. So generally, yeah, you're speaking your mind and be like, I think you need to stop drinking, or that's your last one, or hey, have some water. Hey, you haven't eaten, have some bread, let it soak up the alcohol. To at least tell me in a respectful way, like, yo, this is it. But, you know, unless it's physically harming you or your family, they can do it, say what they want. No, I hate you, J-Rod. J-Rod. I hate you, Bio, 100%. Because I'm going to say what I want, where I want. You don't like it, that's cool. It don't mean I can respect you or what you are dead. That's just out of control. No, but that has to be a matter of, and not only that, but you also have to deal with the individual. Because put it this way, here's another example. You ready for this? If you're at a sporting event, and let's say, now I'm mixing my names up here. Jay, let's say I went to Detroit to watch Steelers Lions, and I went with you to the game, and I don't act like a goon. I'm not there. Oh, Steelers. You know, I'm not that guy. Listen. 56 years old. I'm not going to act like an idiot when I go to a sporting event. But you never know. I could be cheering my team on. All right, yeah, touchdown, whatever. And it could be a Lion fan that's tanked, that's in his 20s, turn around, sit down, Steeler fan, shut up, whatever. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep cheering. I'm going to keep doing it because I'm not even going to pay that guy any money because I already know he's looking for trouble or whatever. But if he's going to now come up in my face and he's going to put his fingers in my face, I'm going to be like, my guy, I'm cheering for my team. I'm not bothering you. I'm not bothering anybody in the section. You need to sit down. Blah, 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 blah. And I still won't even find. Now, if he's going to start swinging on me or he's going to put his finger in my face and push my face, then he's got a problem. But until then, I'm not going to get, I am not, and I understand everybody's different. I know everybody ticks a different way. You can look at them the wrong way. They want to start fighting. I get it. But my point is that people can say whatever, and people don't have thick skin. People have thin skin. People have, please, sadly, wet toilet paper is thicker than a lot of people's skins that's out here. And it's unfortunate because what does that say about the individual? That if I'm at a sporting event, I'm cheering my team on and not acting like a fool, not booing the Lions or booing your fans or taunting people in your section. No, I'm just saying have a good time. I'm there with you, Jay, and Fishing Angel. But I got idiots turning around and like pointing at me and let's start a fight with this guy. For what? And I'm there just minding my business, having a good time. But there's always going to be somebody that's going to upset the apple cart. But I just tune it out. Thick skin. Now, if you're going to make it personal, shut up, or this, that, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to keep going. Or if you're going to call me an idiot or whatever, or a loser, I still got to be like, please, I'm not going to waste my time on these people. Why? Because you call me a loser or whatever? And I understand a case like the skier, I don't know. Maybe he's stewing, maybe he brushed it up, whatever. But again, I'm not stooping to that person's level if they're going to call me these names. It's not. But I understand the next person's going to look at it and they're going to go on and go crack that guy's skull. And that's where the respect factor comes in, because I respect myself enough to know that I'm not going to get baited by someone who's tanked or someone that is not even going to waste my time. You can do anything you want, but people can see the agenda. It's so cringy. Act like Hunter. React like Hunter has. All right, Minnesota. No, that's how you feel. I dig it. I'm not talking about him. There's a female athlete I watch that finish. All right. All right. No, and I'd like to see that, because if she came out, all right. No, because, all right, I thought we were talking about the skier, Hunter Hess. If America's history of time, that's okay. They shouldn't be silenced. Why does everyone have a different view? That's it. Case closed. I agree. He's far too gone. He has luxury beliefs. Oh, yeah. Hunter Hess. Luxury beliefs? You see, I don't know Hunter Hess like that. If you know more than I do, Minnesota, then you may be onto something, but I don't. I do not. It's not wrong to have different views. Just keep it. There you go, Fishing Angel. There you go. There you go. I know. Same thing what Bio has said. That's why I love you guys, man. And I mean that. 42 years old, first time I ever voted in my life. Look at that. Well, you beat me, Jay, because I was 35 when I first voted, 2004. Tracy from daycare. Can we change the subject? I'm not feeling this. Tracy. All right, we'll change it. All right, hold on. I know there's a lot of others here. Unknown practitioner. I subbed before. Aren't you meant to be a sports channel? All right. No doubt, unknown practitioner. I appreciate you, Tracy. I know. It was a good talk. Yes, it was. I know. Let me catch up here. It's all good. I know. And I got wrapped up too, so my apologies. Matt Gage, Giants. Oh, good for you. All right. We're bringing it back down here. All right. So let me start off by saying this. So Tracy, and an unknown practitioner. I know you've been on before. And Tracy, I believe it's the first time I've seen you here. So I just want to highlight hang on a second. There we go. Tracy from daycare. Welcome. My apologies. And that was about 14 minutes ago. Thank you, unknown practitioner. All right. You know what? Maybe it's best to kind of land this plane, because here's the good thing about it, unknown practitioner. I know you just jumped on a few minutes ago. And tomorrow, 11 a.m., I do my podcast pregame. It'll be 9:45. But the live podcast, which I did on Monday, and it's obviously all sports. I'll talk about what's happening in the world of sports over the first hour. The next hour, I'll read everybody's comments. I want everybody to type their comments, whatever. And believe you me, today, because of the Olympics and what was said by Hunter Hess in reference to how he feels about America, that's why we got off the rails. Trust me, this wasn't a political forum by any stretch. I understand sports and politics do intertwine, as we saw here. But at the same time, you're UK-based. Oh, is that right? Yeah, so that's props to you from the UK. Listen, I appreciate anybody. I could be next door, but knowing that you're in the UK and you hopped on board, I appreciate you tenfold. So let me see. What is the time? You guys are what, 5 hours ahead? So that's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. your time, I would think. So from 11 to 1, so that's 4 to 6. Because it'll be 2 hours. And hey, J-Rod, he's going to take the bullet for this. Thank you, J-Rod. That's why you're the man. I appreciate you. You know that always. But yeah, so 11 a.m. No, for GMT, I'm UK based, so that would be, yeah, I think it's 4 hours ahead, right? Let me type that up real quick. Geez, and then my laptop battery's dying, of course. Maybe because of all my bluster in front of it. It's like, hey, we can't take all this. What is the time in the UK right now? 6:56. Oh, that's right, because so you're 5 hours ahead. So yeah, so 4 o'clock your time. And yeah, you'll get full podcast and then leave questions, comments, because after I talk about what's happening in sports, I'll get to the comments. And one more time, you don't have to worry. Oh, J-Rod. Yeah. Sweet. Yes, thank you. Unknown. And Tracy, where are you from, Tracy? I'm curious to know if you're still with us. And J-Rod, yeah, guessing that's not the jiu-jitsu athlete, yeah. Jay, some topics like Bugs Bunny and Hunter S are too political. We'd skip these topics, just keep it. No doubt. And listen, the good thing is at least it was tied into sports. It wasn't a thing where somebody came in here and triggered some of us or all of us, because that would have been that would have not flown here, as you well know. But and then I got a little bit out of hand too. I got a little bit crazed myself. So if anything, I apologize to you guys for me just like kind of getting a little bit too I don't want to say passionate, man. Passionate, I guess. But yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, podcast pregame, 9:45, which would be 1:45 your time, unknown practitioner. So just keep that in mind. But I appreciate it all. I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate everybody just going through that discussion here over the last, I guess, like half hour, maybe more than that. But it was healthy. It was good. Obviously, we got out of our systems, and now we can move straight ahead to bigger and better things. So tomorrow, again, as you all know, any last comments here? Let me just go through this real quick before I bid adieu. Any last thoughts on the chat? Of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Latest edition, you already know, 11 a.m., and it's live. Not recorded, live right here. I'll put out the link later today, and you'll see it on the channel anyway. One more time, I thank you all. I really do. And with that being said, as you well know, in the blood, in the DNA, talking sports is birth. As long as I'm in front of this microphone or camera, you know I'm going to bring the pain, deliver the goods with nothing but fire, passion, energy, fury, with my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens. Will the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to wherever you are. The J-Reels live stream always comes live, correct, direct, and in full effect. And no, I know you weren't trying to cross any lines. It's all good, J-Rod. And politics go hand in hand. A lot of people, oh, no, absolutely. I appreciate you, unknown practitioner. And Tracy again as well. I'm sure she was probably looking for sports. It's like, oh, what the hell did I get myself into? So hopefully you come back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, or depending on where you're at. Yes, Fishing Angel, I will do so. Absolutely. Have a great day. And I will tell her that you said hello. From the South Bronx, South East, South Central, South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. Until tomorrow, 9:45 or 11 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, on the flip, baby.